If you're wondering which 27-inch gaming monitors are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. Dell G2724D. The budget king of gaming monitors that won't make your wallet cry, offering a sweet 165Hz refresh rate and 1440p resolution that makes games look crisp as hell. The screen gets bright enough to fight glare in well-lit rooms and has fantastic accuracy in sRGB mode, but damn, those blacks look gray in dark rooms due to that mediocre contrast ratio. The stand is actually decent with height and tilt adjustments, unlike some cheap monitors that feel like they'll fall apart if you sneeze at them. Would I buy it? Yes, it's the perfect balance of features and price for gamers on a budget. Dell S2724DGM. This curved bad boy rocks a VA panel with a killer 3001 contrast ratio that makes those deep blacks look properly dark, and the 165Hz refresh rate keeps everything buttery smooth. The panel is fast enough for most gamers, though there's still a bit of motion blur, and the HDMI ports are limited to 144Hz, which is kind of a bummer. The 1500R curve is pretty much useless on a 27-inch screen. It's like putting racing stripes on a minivan. Would I buy it? Maybe. Great contrast ratio, but the motion blur might annoy competitive gamers. Gigabyte M27. 2x, this speed demon cranks it up to 240Hz and handles motion like a champ, making it perfect for those sweaty gaming sessions. The built-in KVM switch is actually useful for controlling multiple computers, and the colors are clean and vibrant, though the HDR performance is about as impressive as a wet firecracker. The stand is pretty basic and can't even rotate to portrait mode. Come on, Gigabyte, it's 2025. Would I buy it? Yes. Fantastic gaming performance if you can live without good HDR. Alienware AW2725DF, the absolute unit of gaming monitors with its 360Hz refresh rate and QD OLED panel that makes other displays look like they're running on potato power. The motion clarity is insane with near instantaneous response time, though it's not super bright in SDR and you'll need to baby it a bit to avoid burn-in. The active cooling fan inside might annoy you if you're running a silent setup, but let's be real, if you can afford this monitor, you probably have a jet engine of a gaming PC anyway. Would I buy it? Yes, it's expensive as hell, but delivers the best gaming experience you can get right now. MSI MPG271QRX. Let me tell you about this Quantum Dot OLED beast. It's rocking a 360Hz refresh rate with 0.03 millisecond response time, making it smoother than butter on a hot pan. The colors are absolutely insane with that QD OLED panel, and it even comes with a 3-year burn-in warranty, so you don't have to worry about ruining your $800 investment. The only real downside is that you need to run it in HDR mode and crank up Windows brightness settings to get the best brightness, which is kind of annoying. Would I buy it? Yes, if you've got the cash to burn and want the absolute best gaming experience, this is your monitor. Gigabyte M28U. This bad boy comes in at a more reasonable price point while still delivering 4K at 144Hz with great color accuracy and a super crisp image. The built-in KVM switch is pretty neat for switching between devices, and it handles HDR content decently, though don't expect anything mind-blowing with its 400 nits peak brightness. The stand is a bit basic with just height and tilt adjustments, and those built-in speakers are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Would I buy it? Maybe. It's a solid choice if you want 4K gaming without selling a kidney. Pixio PXC 277 Advanced. Now this is what I call a budget beast. You're getting 1440p resolution, 165Hz refresh rate, and surprisingly good contrast with that VA panel for a fraction of what you'd pay for the fancy options. The colors are actually pretty decent with 124% sRGB coverage, and that 1500R curve adds some nice immersion. Just don't expect much from the HDR. It's about as impressive as a wet firecracker. Would I buy it? Yes, if you're on a tight budget, this monitor gives you the most bang for your buck. Acer Nitro 15 275K. This monitor is trying to be fancy with its mini LED backlighting and 576 dimming zones, but it's got some quirks that'll make you scratch your head. The gaming performance is solid with good motion handling at high refresh rates, but there's more blur at lower refresh rates, and the input lag at 60 Hz is higher than my grandma's blood pressure. The local dimming looks great when you're sitting dead center, but move to the side and you'll see some weird flickering with fast-moving objects. Would I buy it? No. There are better options at this price point that don't come with these compromises. AOC Q2724D, the budget king of mini LED monitors that somehow manages to pump out 1200 nits of brightness and 336 dimming zones while keeping the price under $300. The VA panel gives you deep blacks with a contrast ratio that'll make your eyes water, but there's a bit of smearing in fast-paced games, though honestly, you'll barely notice it unless you're specifically looking for it. Would I buy it? Yes, because it delivers image quality and HDR performance that often beats monitors costing 2 to 3 times more. Asus ROG Strix OLED XG27 This glossy wold panel is like the overachiever in class. It hits 724 nits in HDR, which is pretty impressive for an OLED, beating its QD OLED rivals. The 240 Hz refresh rate might seem slow compared to the competition, but damn. The motion clarity is crisp as hell, and the colors are so accurate you won't need to calibrate it. Would I buy it? Maybe, because while it's not the fastest panel out there, the HDR performance is outstanding and the glossy finish makes everything pop. Samsung Odyssey OLED G6. Samsung's matte finished speed demon rocks a 360 Hz refresh rate that'll make your eyes melt, paired with that sweet QD OLED goodness. The matte coating does make the blacks look a bit less deep than its glossy competitors, and at 250 nits brightness for regular content, it's not exactly winning any awards for lighting up the room. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's usually cheaper than the competition while delivering essentially the same performance, and that matte finish actually helps if you've got a bright room. Gigabyte Aorus FO27 Q3. This QD OLED beast matches the Samsung's 360 Hz refresh rate, but keeps it classy with a semi-glossy finish that gives you the best of both worlds. The colors are more vibrant than the Samsung G6, and it's better calibrated out of the box for both HDR and SDR, but you'll need a pretty beefy computer to actually hit those frame rates at 1440p resolution. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's basically a more refined version of the Samsung G6 with better picture quality, though you might have trouble finding it in stock. Inokin 27M2V. The 4K resolution with mini LED backlighting and 1152 local dimming zones makes dark scenes look amazing, and the 160 Hz refresh rate with variable refresh rate support keeps everything smooth as butter. The monitor gets insanely bright at 1200 nits peak brightness in HDR mode, making those explosions pop right out of the screen, though the plastic build quality feels a bit cheap and the input lag at 60 Hz is disappointing. The colors are damn near perfect with 99% DCI-P3 and Adobe RGB coverage, making this thing a beast for both gaming and content creation. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's basically a premium monitor without the premium price tag. LG 27GP850. This bad boy rocks a 1440p nano IPS panel that can overclock to 180 Hz. And the response time is so fast it'll make your head spin. The contrast ratio is a bit meh at around 700, 1 to 1001, making blacks look more like dark gray, but damn if those colors aren't vibrant with that 98% DCI-P3 coverage. The monitor handles motion like a champ thanks to its quick response time and low input lag. Plus, it's got both FreeSync and G-Sync compatibility to keep those tears away. Would I buy it? Yes, because it's basically the speed demon of IPS monitors with actually good colors. ViewSonic Elite XG2724D. This 1440p 240 Hz monster comes with NVIDIA G-Sync and reflex support that makes everything buttery smooth, and the IPS panel delivers some sweet colors with 99% Adobe RGB coverage. The contrast ratio is pretty standard IPS territory at 1001 and at 400 nits brightness. It's not winning any HDR awards, but the motion handling is crisp as hell. The price is a bit steep for what you're getting, especially especially when there are cheaper options with similar specs. Would I buy it? Maybe. It's a solid monitor, but the price makes me want to cry. Asus TUF Gaming VG27AQ. This 1440p display can hit 165 Hz and comes with ELMB sync technology that lets you use motion blur reduction and adaptive sync at the same time, which is pretty neat. The HDR performance is about as useful as a chocolate teapot with its measly 350 nits brightness, and the response time is slower than my grandma trying to use a smartphone. The ergonomics are fantastic though, and the build quality feels solid despite being a budget option. Would I buy it? No. There are better options at this price point with faster response times and better HDR. Sony InZone M28U. The 4K 160Hz display with full array local dimming makes games look absolutely gorgeous. And the new all-black design finally ditches that weird PlayStation 5 wannabe look. The stand is actually useful now with its rotating base, though the built-in speakers sound like they're underwater in a tin can. The automatic game mode switching between gaming and movies is pretty neat, but damn, I wish they'd gone with OLED at this price point. Would I buy it? Yes. The picture quality and features make it worth the $800, especially if you're gaming on both PlayStation 5 and PC. Samsung Odyssey G7. This 240Hz beast with its quantum dot display delivers some seriously smooth gaming performance, but that aggressive 1000R curve is so extreme, it feels like you're gaming through a fishbowl. The contrast ratio is fantastic at 2500:1, but good luck trying to use G-Sync without getting a migraine from all the flickering issues. The build quality feels about as premium as a dollar store action figure, with a wobbly stand that makes the monitor dance every time you type. Would I buy it? No. The flickering issues and that ridiculous curve make it hard to justify when there are better options available. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the 27-inch gaming monitors for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.